Welcome. Today we're looking at a bit of a stir involving the White House and Amazon.
That's right. It's about reports that Amazon might start showing tariff costs right next to product prices on their site.
And the White House has reacted pretty strongly to that idea.
Yeah, the whole thing seems to have kicked off with a report from Punchbowl News.
Okay.
They reported, based on someone apparently familiar with Amazon's thinking, that the company wants to show consumers, how much tariffs are adding to the price tag.
Right, to make that impact clear.
Exactly.
And this news, or the reporting on it, came out around President Trump's 100th day in office.
Yeah, the timing is definitely part of the story here. The administration has been implementing tariffs on quite a few trade partners.
So this potential move by Amazon lands right in the middle of that policy focus.
Precisely. And the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, she addressed it directly in a press briefing on Tuesday.
What did she say?
Well, she didn't mince words. She called Amazon's reported plan a hostile and political act.
Hostile and political. Okay, that's pretty strong language.
It certainly signals clear disapproval from the White House about Amazon potentially highlighting these costs to shoppers.
Was there any comment on, the relationship between President Trump and Jeff Bezos? That's often a point of interest.
Leavitt was asked about that, but she didn't really comment on their personal relationship.
She stuck to the main point.
Pretty much. She just doubled down, really, repeating that the White House views this reported plan as hostile and political.
Now, has Amazon actually confirmed they're doing this?
That's a key point. No, they haven't.
Yeah.
At least not publicly.
So it's still in the realm of reported plans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
News outlets mentioned that Amazon didn't immediately respond when asked for comment, and Politico apparently couldn't independently verify the plans either.
Interesting. So the White House is reacting to a report, not a confirmed action.
Right. And Secretary Leavitt also brought up the timing again, but from a different angle.
Oh, so?
She questioned why Amazon didn't do something similar, say, display price increases related to inflation during the previous administration when inflation was higher.
Suggesting there might be a political motive behind why they'd choose to do this now.
That seems to be the implication, yes. Kind
Yeah.
of linking it to the 100 days mark and the focus on tariffs.
And did she connect this to any broader policy points?
She did. Leavitt suggested this whole situation is yet another reason for Americans to buy American.
Right, and to support bringing supply chains back home, onshoring.
Exactly, that term onshoring, moving manufacturing back to the U.S.
She also mentioned something about a past report involving Amazon and China.
Yes, she referenced a report from back in 2021, I believe.
Okay.
It concerned an alleged partnership between Amazon and what she termed a Chinese propaganda arm.
And she brought that up in this context.
Yeah, seemingly as, further reason to be skeptical about Amazon's motives here.
What was Amazon's response back in 2021, do we know?
Well, at the time of that original report, Amazon stated that it follows all the relevant laws and regulations everywhere it operates, including China.
Okay. So bringing up an older report to frame the current situation.
It appears so.
What's been the immediate fallout from these White House comments? Any market reaction?
There were reports, that Amazon's stock dipped a bit in pre-market trading after Leavitt's remarks.
Suggests the market is paying attention, at least.
It could reflect some uncertainty, maybe, about this potential friction and what Amazon might actually do.
And it potentially adds another layer to that whole Trump-Bezos dynamic, doesn't it?
It really could. Things had reportedly warmed up a little between them after the 2024 election.
Right. I recall hearing Bezos had expressed some optimism about a second Trump term.
And Amazon even contributed to the inaugural fund, apparently. So there were signs of perhaps a less frosty relationship.
But this kind of strong public criticism from the White House over a reported plan, that could definitely put a strain on things again.
It certainly could signal renewed tension. It really highlights how complex things can get between big government and big corporations.
Absolutely. If Amazon were to go ahead with this, putting those tariff costs right out there, what would the impact be?
Well, it would make the direct cost of tariffs much more visible to the average consumer right when they're about to buy something.
Increased transparency, essentially.
Yes, potentially quite significant transparency. And that could definitely influence buying decisions.
You might think twice if you see a specific amount added due to a tariff.
Exactly. And beyond individual purchases, it could shape how the public perceives these trade policies more broadly.
It also brings up bigger questions, doesn't it, about the role large companies play in these kinds of economic policy debates.
It really does. When a company like Amazon, with its huge platform, highlights the effects of government actions, that can have a real impact on public discourse.
It gives them a powerful way to frame the narrative, potentially.
Potentially, yes. And it makes you think about this whole idea of tariff transparency in general.
If this becomes a trend, consumers getting a clearer breakdown of prices.
It could lead to a much better understanding of what goes into the final cost of goods, but the longer-term effects on, say, consumer behavior or even international trade talks? That's really an open question.
Definitely something to watch. It touches on transparency, corporate influence, and the direct impact of policy on consumers.
A complex mix, for sure.
Well, that covers the main points of this developing situation for now.
Hopefully this gives you a clearer picture of the different angles involved.
Thank you for joining us.